All right, welcome back to the IN8 Life podcast. My name is Dr. Lydia.
And my name's Dr. Zach.
And we are actually a little bit out of breath. We've just done our podcast pump up, listening to some 80s music.
Elton John.
And now trying to catch our breath back before we begin speaking.
Yeah, we've got to get on the same vibe, same energy, just to get ready and centered for the podcast.
Yeah.
So here we are, a month later from our first one.
First one that we recorded in studio. Should we tell them how the first one went, or I guess didn't go?
Yeah, I think we should. So Lyd and I, we were so pumped. We've got all these intentions and ideas, and we put it all into a plan on how we're going to do podcast. And then, life got a bit crazy for a month. We're back here, but in that first podcast, it was just such a different vibe because it's like a professional setting, right? It just felt like it was too professional, and we wanted to just bring it back to our roots, which are fun, silly, and talking and conversation. I felt like it's amazing setup and studio, and we'll go back there for maybe big podcasts or, maybe if we get some pretty cool special guests on. But I think for the weekly ones we want to do, we're just going to do it more organically.
I hope so, yeah.
Not the professional setting. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
I think I noticed what happened was we thought, we'll book, the professional studio and see how it goes and do our first one in there to start off on that real high note. But there was a few things that happened. I think the pressure of it being in that professional studio and feeling like we had to nail it for the first time meant that we ended up both on different wavelengths.
Yeah.
So I was sort of going in with one intention and Zach was going in with another. And even though we thought that we had planned for all of that, it just ended up being a little bit of a shambles mess.
Yeah.
So now...
it's still a good podcast.
Yeah.
It's still great. I still like listening to it. I just think it didn't hit what we
It wasn't as
wanted to hit.
natural, I think, is what we're looking for.
Yeah, it wasn't natural.
Which obviously, being the IN8 Life podcast, we want it to be as natural as possible.
Yeah.
So
but
here we are.
You'll still be able to listen to it. You go to the episode before this. We want you to grow with us, right? We're comparing it to like our first ever adjustment where my hands are shaking and my body's nervous and I'm sweating, and that's kind of how I felt in my first one.
Yeah. What do you think we learnt from that first attempt?
Yeah, really stick to our roots, which is the main, vibe of our podcast, which is fun and convo and chatting rather than too professional. I don't want to have a professional podcast. I just want it to be conversation.
Yeah, I think we should let everyone know that we're still just totally winging this.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're sitting in the IN8 Life practice at the moment recording this podcast and pretty much hoping that it turns out at the quality that we want it to be.
Yeah.
And if not, we get to have a conversation here and just... Yeah.
And grow.
Yeah.
And grow with it and help it evolve and grow into something as well.
Yeah. So, of course, being the IN8 Life podcast, Zach, I want to ask you, where did you notice innate intelligence in the world this week?
Good question. Can I give you two answers?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The first one was myself. I hurt my back at the start of the week. I don't know how I hurt it. It just was really sore and I couldn't really bend over and like a sharp pain and ache. But within a day and two, and some adjustments and some care, I was like fully back to full function again. And that's what I just remembered. I kept telling myself then, like, you're not sore, you're not broken, your body's just healing. It's just taking time.
Yeah.
And I just need to be more gentle with it. So, I skipped some workouts and, had a bath, hot water, just to like actually honor what my body needed. And I think that was innate intelligence healing quick, which I'm really grateful for. It was really quick. That would be number one.
Yeah. And you said you'd never hurt your back before, right?
Yeah, I've never had like an injury or really hurt it. Like I've had back pain and things like that when I was a lot younger. But this was just like I haven't hurt or felt my back hurt probably 5, 6, 7 years. So, yeah, but 2-day turnaround, I'll take it.
It's pretty good. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Where was the other example?
The other one was learning way more, you probably know what I'm going to say, about the female menstrual cycle and the phases of it. Like Lyd and I I wanted Lyd to help me understand her phases of her cycle way better, just so how I can be a better partner, boyfriend, human being. And we draw up a little chart of the different phases and learning how the body innately does what it does for a certain purpose and direction to eventually have a baby, I thought was pretty cool. And that's pretty innate in my eyes. Yeah, they're my top two.
Was there anything with this female cycle that surprised you or that you learnt where you were like, whoa?
I wouldn't say anything surprised me. Like I kind of knew that the human body in innate would do what it needs to do for its certain purposes. But what has surprised me is how much it really does affect you. Like I like to say, fellas, we have a 24-hour cycle. So we literally get to go to sleep and wake up again, no matter what our day's been like. Whereas ladies have like a 30-day cycle. And I think honouring that, and that's what I learned more, was like, okay, these different phases are really going to dictate a lot of your energy, mood, vibe as well. And again, obviously you can kind of mix and match some of them, but I think now knowing what you need more in each situation, in each phase, is probably the thing I learned the most.
All right, I'm going to give
Don't
you...
test me. Don't test me. She was testing me all last night.
Well, seeing as you've had a lot of revision, I'm going to give you just one pop quiz and ask you a question and see what answer you come up with live on the air, on the podcast. So, and this will be dependent on what you know about me as well, because not every woman's the same either. But I'll give you an easy one. Okay.
Really easy. Don't embarrass me.
Okay. With the phase of my cycle that I'm in right now, what is something that my body needs and why?
Yeah, your body now needs in luteal sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Needs to recover, needs to heal, it needs to prep for the next phase, which is the menstrual, right? So it needs to prep because you're going to be losing parts of your body. So it's kind of like the autumn phase, like you're kind of getting rid of the wood.
You actually did way better than I was expecting. Yeah. High five. All right, because you did so good, I'm going to give you one more question.
No, that's enough.
One more.
You did this last night where you just got so excited for all these different questions. We ended up doing like 10 in a row. So
I'm excited you... Yeah,
let me ask you a question.
All right.
Where was innate intelligence or innate
you got me.
For you?
There at the Thrive Together dinner that we had this week that we'll talk about in a moment, one of our clients who's just started, I think she's been with us 2 weeks now, she was saying that her pain has started to reduce and, she started to sleep more and have more energy and all of these wonderful things are happening for her at the moment. But she also mentioned that she's noticing these emotional outbursts that are coming out where she's more emotionally triggered and there's just like more coming up for her around her family and her son and like her ex-partner and all of these sort of old wounds that are reopening, and she's felt like she's just way more emotional. And it's something that she said to us because she doesn't like that at the moment. She said for so long she was so numb and she liked to be numb because it was just a lot easier.
Totally.
And so she was asking, is this normal? Like, why is this happening? We've just been getting adjusted for 2 weeks and all of a sudden I'm having all these crazy emotions.
I mean, even things like, I don't want to feel this.
Yeah.
Like I'm not ready for this.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that's how she feels. She's like, this is a lot. Like we was talking about how, she could either turn away from this and go in the other direction and pause and go back to being numb and not dip the toe in any further. Mm-hmm. Or she could, with courage, just like lean in and go into that and find out what's on the other side of it. And that's what she has chosen to do.
Yeah.
But that was innate intelligence at work this week. And the way that I described it to her was when you come to us, you start chiropractic care and you have a goal. And that goal might be that you want to be pain-free, you want to exercise, you want to be able to move, as an example. All of those are greater forms of expression. So in order to be able to move more, you've got to express more movement. In order to be able to be more pain-free, you have to actually express and let go of what's causing that pain. And with that comes expression in other forms like emotional expression. So it's not always going to be what you want it to be, right? It can be that emotional outburst that you wish you wouldn't have, but it's just the body asking and delivering and having more expression overall. So that was where I saw intelligence at work this week.
Well, you shared something with me that I really liked and learned was the nervous system holds everything, right? So it holds your emotions, it holds traumas, it literally holds the DNA of your ancestors, right? It's passed down through your nervous system, through your cells and every part of your body. So holding emotions in there, being stuck and locked up, that can be pretty frightening for people, having to unlock them. And again, not everyone's experience is going to be like that, but I understand that if you're ready to, it could be cool to see what comes down the other side.
Definitely. I think the more I learn about the nervous system, the more respect I have for it in the way of like, of course, these emotional changes or other changes that you're not expecting are going to come about as well. Like, how amazing is that? Like, this same system that allows you to move and breathe and interact with life and like do everything that we do. Of course, it's still going to have a deeper layer than just the physical. And then once you see it, it's all you see. Like, you just keep seeing more and more of it. So I think seeing it in that light of, can you have respect for the body and respect for the nervous system and just go, this is just a part of this journey. And with the nervous system being adaptable, there's always going to be something else on the other side. Like, it's not forever. But it's really hard to stick with that and know that when you're going through it. So
it kind of comes back to the principle of abundance. So I've been doing a few meditations lately on abundance, and I learnt that abundance, in any area of your life, whether it be wealth, whether it be friendships, family, intimacy, whatever abundant is, it doesn't necessarily mean you're only going to have abundance in that energy in that area. So like, if you want abundance in wealth, you might have to have an abundance in spending. If you want an abundance in, let's say, your workplace, there might be an abundance of problems that come your way. So I kind of link that to the nervous system healing, because yes, some of it can be fun and awesome and wow, I've had these amazing results. But at the same time, there's going to be some shit you got to work through. So it won't always be just rainbows. It might be a bit troublesome too.
Gotta let it all in.
Do you want to chat a little bit about what we had this week? What went on? This was an absolutely epic week in the practice. We had our Thrive Together dinner, which is our version of a dinner with the doc, where we invite people along to dinner and we shout them dinner, we do a chiro workshop. But this one was just another level. You felt the vibe too?
It was definitely different.
Yeah. It was just really good energy. There's about 30 people in the room, all from Geelong, mainly people we don't know. And everyone was just so keen and excited for dinner. Yes, they were excited for dinner, but they were like excited to hear about chiropractic or health. It really reminded me that so many people are so keen for it. No matter what I think, or how much I kind of sometimes guilt myself about posting on social media or thinking I'm annoying people, people are so keen for healthcare and innate healthcare.
One thing I noticed from this Thrive dinner, because I went around and just asked what people's main takeaway was, and I like to do that just to gauge what value we're giving and what people are grabbing. But a lot of people said, I was just reminded how important my health is and how it influences everything in my life. And I think that's even sounds like funny for me to say that, because when we're working with health every single day, of course it's at the top of our priority list and it's just there the whole time, right? So it made me double take, and I was like, oh, true. A lot of people genuinely forget that health is important, which to us is very abstract. But that's what majority of the people in the room had said. So it was a reminder of when you are a chiropractor or when you're helping people with their health, like that's your role and duty is to change that in people out in the world. And it almost like baffled me for a moment. I was like,
why do you think they forget?
I think there's so much else that they are focusing on
100%.
In this world. And I think some of it is priority and things that they're choosing to focus on. But then I think also after a while it becomes a pattern of what people are focusing on because of the lifestyle they lead, the amount of stress that they're under, what they're doing for work, their relationships, everything in their being is drawing them closer towards sickness than it is towards health. So I think it's really easy to just lose that hierarchy and for health to fall to the bottom of the hierarchy of needs and for it to just shatter. And it's often, as we see, not until you lose it, that people realize the importance of it and then try and claw it back. So that's why those workshops are so important too.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good reminder for people, especially their life is so busy. We're just so lucky and grateful. Like I always say to people, you know, I have my chiropractor in my pocket. You know, Lydia's with me all the time, so I get adjusted every day. You know, I had one client who was a bit frustrated that she hadn't seen too much change in just 6 visits. And I was just like to her, that's okay. This is your 6th adjustment in your lifetime. I had 6 this week. And it's just because I have that opportunity with me, right? So for them, they have to make that effort for health, where for us, it's now our habit and our lifestyle, which is cool. So I guess anyone listening to this, if health isn't a full habit of yours, this is always a good chance to make it a habit. And it can be simple, but
you also don't have to be adjusted 6 times a week.
No, you don't. I'm
to
just
have that. You're just very privileged.
I love it. It's my number one thing.
Yeah. We've got another awesome event coming up, which is tonight. We've got Spinal and Soul Activation Night. So what are you most excited about, Zach?
Geez, this is going to be so good. So this is breath work and adjustments, and we're, energetic, somatic, energy adjustments with that somatic big breathwork release. So we've got Matt Hoffman coming down, one of our clients, breathwork facilitator, amazing dude. And we got a little teaser of what we set up the space. So what am I excited for? I'm just excited for the whole night. Like we've got an amazing crew. The event is sold out. And we haven't done it before. We've done lots of breath work and of course done lots of adjusting and received lots of adjustments, but to combine them together, it's going to release a lot for a lot of people. It's
cool. It's a fusion of all these different things that we like to do, and we're bringing it all together. And something that I love about Matt being the facilitator of the breath work is he has come from that corporate hustle, full nervous system dysregulation and shutdown and full burnout. He's gone through all of that, and then, as I was just saying, like lost that health and then had to claw it back, and has done that through his practices, and now he gets to bring that into our practice, which is really, really exciting. What's something you hope people can walk away with, even if it would just be one thing
from the night? It's a really good question. I think I want people to walk away with a different perspective of health, because we have a fair few folks coming that haven't even done breathwork before, right? So that's going to be awesome for them to go into something that's new and really expand their vision for what's possible with their body to heal through different means, because a lot of the folks are coming from our practice in-house. We put it out to the public, but our in-house just filled up the tickets like that. So I think they know adjustments, they know the power of that, but to see the power of breath now combined with it, I think that'll be pretty cool.
I think it'll be amazing.
And the sound healing is going to be amazing there too. We've got our new instruments. That's going to be fun.
It'll be really, really good.
Yeah, it'll be good.
We will update you next episode on how it went as well. Should we set an intention for Spinal and Soul?
Yeah, sure.
What's something you're going to carry in?
Yeah, I'm going to carry that childlike enthusiasm for something new for our people. Because I know, like I said, they haven't all experienced it before. So for them to experience something new, I'm here to support them. But I'm very excited for them to feel it.
My intention is to remain open and not cast an expectation of what I would like to see happen in the event. I just want to allow it to be whatever it is and allow it to, come through.
Yeah, cool beans. Yep. What do we talk about next?
I wanted to talk about the summit, but I don't know how to segue into that.
Well, you guys are here with us live as we learn how to go. Cool. Yeah, so we got the IN8 Summit coming up. When is it? Next week? 10 days away.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah.
What's the IN8 Summit? A lot of people probably don't know.
The IN8 Summit, that's this is such a time-stamped episode, so we're going to have to put this out today, I think. The IN8 Summit is one of the biggest chiropractic conferences in the Southern Hemisphere. So it's going to be like 300 to 400 chiropractors in Kingscliff, New South Wales. So yeah, we're going to that, and it's run by our good friend and mentor, Sam, Dr. Sam and Gabby. So yeah, we're pumped. We've got that. We're taking the whole team. It's really, really exciting.
It's extra exciting this time because Zach's actually speaking at the summit, which is a first for you. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. I've been pretty nervous because it's the first time I've spoken to people of that caliber and colleagues, and I'm literally standing up on stage next to my mentors, which is incredible. I felt nervous at the beginning. I've put in a bit of time and reps, so that's helped a little bit the nerves, but it hasn't really sunk in yet. And I just know the closer I get, the more real it's going to feel. So it still feels like it's way too far away to get really nervous or anything. But mainly I'm just really excited. Like, what an awesome opportunity. And, really put me under the pump to practice and to write a whole new talk. Just kind of break my rhythm of life. It's really cool.
Yeah. The fact you're sitting here now, like, before having done that, if you could give yourself some advice, like before walking on stage, what would you say?
Ooh. So giving my future self advice before walking on stage, it would be to remember to breathe slowly and take it slow when I get up there. Because remember how when people walk up to like any kind of real cool function or seminar, there's music and high five and cheering, but that's like a massive adrenaline rush.
Totally.
But then an adrenaline dump. So I want to just, when I get there, just breathe, take it slow, because I'm going to be so excited, my heart's going to be pumping, that I don't want to just crash. And I'm not a professional athlete that does this every single week, so it's going to be cool to remember that when I'm there.
Maybe not a professional yet, but I caught up with a friend this morning and she said that she thinks that you're just a great speaker. So cool. It's a little compliment for you.
Well, she obviously hasn't heard my word dyslexia yet.
Yes, we will find more of that as we go through the podcast.
Nice. Well, is there anything else that you'd want to finish up with for this episode? Talk about your retreat?
Sure.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's the one coming up, or?
No, reflect a bit on the one that you just had.
Yeah, so my friend Nally and I just had our second Inner Bloom retreat in Bali this time. So this was a pretty big moment, thinking back to, when I was 20, 21, wanting to facilitate at a retreat, and then it kind of just happened at the end of 2024 when, Nally created Inner Bloom and invited me along to facilitate. So that was a big moment, and then it went really well, and we ended up selling out a retreat, a few months later in Bali, and actually taking it overseas and doing it. And we got back, less than a month ago now, a couple of weeks. So I think I'm still just running on the high of the fact that happened and we were able to create that. So
yeah. Well, look, I got to see a bit of a different perspective of it, because I know people on the Instagram get to see the amazing highlights of it, which it looked amazing. Events and connection and healing and growth, and to facilitate that would have been a fair bit of work for you. What did you take away from that event, if you had to, in your own personal growth and journey? Because it's easy to really focus on the people who were at the event.
Yeah.
And it's great. I want them to have an amazing event, but you would have got some serious growth and development out of that too.
I think I learnt, and I think I proved to myself that I do have what it takes to facilitate what I want to facilitate. Cool. And I think that imposter syndrome comes back again and again of, can I really do this? And is this just a dream and something that I, want to do, but is it actually going to happen? Or, is it worth my time? Am I the person to facilitate that for people? But now that there's been 2 retreats and both have been slightly different in what I've facilitated and what I've brought along, I'm really starting to learn now that I can do it. And I've got a lot more confidence in myself, I think, now. And just seeing the results of people at the retreat, even only being there for a few days with them, and seeing what experiences they have while they're there with me is really, really refreshing. And I'm just trying to give myself reverence for that, and love and appreciation for that, because it can be, now move on to the next thing, what are you going to do now? So I'm trying to pause and just reflect.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
awesome. No, I'm glad you can do that, and we'll try and support you to go and do the next one. I know we might be moving practice around that time, but
who knows?
But if we can get you there, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, so the next Inner Bloom retreat is for October, 8th to 12th. So we've already locked in another one for this year, which is crazy.
You probably have to do a podcast with Nelly
Yeah.
soon.
We had planned
you're
to.
you're like best friends and haven't even had a chance because you just catch up like friends every time.
I know.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today at the IN8 Life podcast. My name's Dr. Zach.
My name's Dr. Lydia.
Yeah, we hope you took something out of it. Thanks for being along with us, growing and learning. And I guess we'll see you in the next one. The next one will probably recap some of these events that went on. And
Definitely keep you posted. Bye.